Hello, sunshine. Hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving break. It is November 27th, Motivation Monday, and to honor it, a quote from former South African president and social rights activist Nelson Mandela, who once said, "It always seems impossible until it is done." We start today with something that once may have seemed impossible for many of those affected by the conflict in the Middle East, but it has happened. In a breakthrough truce deal, Israel and Hamas agreed on a temporary pause in fighting and the first large-scale release of hostages and prisoners who were taken on October 7th. It began on Friday when 24 hostages left Gaza and 39 Palestinian women and minors were released from Israeli prisons. Over the weekend, we continued to see the emotional reunions of families who hadn't seen each other for weeks. Under a 4-day truce deal, Israel and Hamas agreed on the release of a total of 50 hostages from Gaza and 150 Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails. Now, we're going to zip on over to our next story of the day. In the U.S., Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, is not what it used to be. Years ago, Black Friday shopping crazes could sometimes lead to stampedes, even injuries at stores. But now, American consumers' habits around the holiday shopping season have changed. Here's Jen Sullivan with the how and the why.
The mad discount dash associated with Black Friday appears to be slowing.
Clearly, the month of November has changed really since the pandemic.
More shoppers are looking to score deals online as many consumers gear up for Cyber Monday.
A pretty big shift from the Black Fridays I remember about a decade ago where people would line up early outside the stores. Now people are shopping in their pajamas.
It's not just the convenience of shopping from home that has consumers scaling back on in-store shopping. Many retailers rolled out their discounts much earlier this year to entice people to spend sooner.
It actually started as early October and will go right till Christmas time.
The Black Friday deals have already generated nearly $10 billion in online sales, according to Adobe Analytics. That's 7.5% more than a year ago. But Black Friday is only the penultimate attempt by retailers to ratchet up their sales. Today marks the final substantial day of holiday shopping deals, Cyber Monday, designed for online shoppers. Did you know that Cyber Monday is expected to generate a record $12 billion in sales, according to Adobe Analytics? Adobe says smartwatches, TVs, toys, and gaming products were the best-selling categories this year. They also saw a notable increase in shoppers who went for buy now, pay later options. 47% more Americans use this flexible payment method compared to last year. And while that may mean that they may end up paying a bit more because of interest, that works better for some. Now, pop quiz, hot shot. 10-second trivia. What is the oldest operating ballpark in Major League Baseball? Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, Dodger Stadium, or Yankee Stadium? Opening in 1912, Fenway Park with its iconic left field wall opened 2 years before Wrigley. Although baseball season might be over in the U.S., one of the sport's most iconic venues is still active in an unexpected way. As we celebrate our shared home this Call to Earth Day, CNN went to the city of Boston to take a look at an urban farm unlike any other, sitting above the front offices of the Boston Red Sox. Hours before the gates open on a Red Sox game day in late August at Fenway Park in Boston, a different team is hard at work.
As these crops continue to come out, we'll plant in fall greens, we'll plant in lettuces.
This is Fenway Farms, a 5,000 square foot garden area on a section of rooftop at the oldest active Major League Baseball park in America.
You know, agriculture happens everywhere. We're just bringing it up off the ground and putting it up on a roof.
Chris Growlert is a farmer and the president of Green City Growers, which operates this farm and some 200 other locations, including at 40 Boston public schools. But none are as visible and perhaps surprising as Fenway Farms.
There's a desire for people to have more locally grown fresh produce and interact with the people who are growing and distributing that fresh produce. And I think when you have such high visibility like you do at a garden like this, people start to see that it's possible, and it can really be the seed to start the new revolution towards food system transformation.
The garden first opened in 2015. Recycled milk crates formed the raised planters.
These are fingerling type potatoes.
Irrigated by a special system that delivers the precise amount needed to each plant. The produce doesn't have to travel far, just a short walk to Chef Ron Abel and his team, operating the restaurants and concessions at Fenway.
Produce delivery. How you doing, bud? Good to be seen. Good to see you. Beautiful onions right off. Look at the size of those.
I have the best chef job in the city, well, actually, maybe the country, where I've got a rooftop garden that the food travels 100 feet, gets washed, and gets served to everybody. And then this dish that Sean's putting together is simple. Potatoes we harvested this morning. We've got purple potatoes, we got fingerling potatoes, heirloom carrots of different colors, and he just steamed them lightly. And they get seasoned lightly.
Green City Growers estimates Fenway Farms reduces the need for produce to purchase at the venue by 20%.
Mostly, we look at quantities and what we can go through, and we also look at perishability. So there are challenges here. We can't predict what Mother Nature's going to give us.
Anything left over, along with what's harvested from a smaller designated area next to the main farm, is donated to a local food rescue and distribution organization called Lovin' Spoonfuls.
We can produce anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 pounds of fresh produce a year, depending on what we're growing. And so the range of vegetables, asparagus to zucchini.
Making the iconic green of Fenway Park even greener. Today's story getting a 10 out of 10, The Great Escape. Shelly Betts from Georgia and her family were busy decorating their home for Christmas, and when it was time to clean up all the mess, their robot vacuum was nowhere to be found until they found video evidence of the mysterious getaway. Here's Jeannie Most with more.
Roomba is supposed to work for you.
Alexa, can you tell Roomba to clean under the kitchen table?
But who knew a Roomba could turn the tables by disappearing?
We could not find him, and we looked under all the furniture.
Unbeknownst to Georgia resident Shelly Betts, Roomba headed out the front door they'd left open.
We were doing Christmas decorations in and out, and he escaped.
2 days later, Shelly's husband found him under a bunch of leaves.
How far did he actually get?
To be honest, he didn't get very far.
Maybe 10 yards. It was after they found him that they looked back at their Ring camera and witnessed his escape.
We were laughing hysterically.
So was the internet, the little Roomba that could. Now that's a clean getaway. Clean, but Roomba was a mess. He lost his padding and his brushes, though he still works.
He did his job. You know, he was doing what he was born to do.
So she saluted the runaway Roomba's escape by adding the George Michael classic, Freedom! Freedom! Without Roomba, the family was left in a vacuum.
Shout out time now. We're showing love to Campbell Middle School in Smyrna, Georgia. Rise up. And the Panthers at Thomas W. Pyle in Bethesda, Maryland. Keep shining, Miss Hyman. And Nora, we see you. Thanks to all of you who have subscribed and commented on our CNN 10 YouTube page for your shout out requests. Let's make Monday great and do this again tomorrow, shall we? I'm Coy Wire, and we are CNN 10.